Hey, good morning, everybody. It is officially 7:15 in the morning. It is Monday, August 24th. And, I get all these questions. Do you want to build a bigger battery? Why don't you get a mid-drive system for your electric bike? Why don't you, you know, rather doing stealth style, do retro or just do a plain bike and everything like that. And honestly, um, I find mid drive the most difficult to install. Uh, between the pedals, crankshaft, and everything else that has to be done in a gear ratio. I would tell everybody to stay away from mid drives, even though they are torquey. But if you're getting a 3,000 or 5,000 rear hub motor, your torque is going to be ridiculous. Of course, if you're pushing that torque with 72-volt battery and about a 100 amp controller, I've had my controller at 30 and the torque was ridiculous and the takeoff was serious. So I'm not sure if you need a rocket, like you want to travel to space. I mean, you gotta think about that. Why would you want to have such a hard takeoff? Now, why I say that is it's good to have that takeoff, but it is number one dangerous. Number two, if you're in a city like I am, New York City, or any other bigger city like L.A., Cali, Las Vegas, anywhere there, or Chicago or Florida. I mean, Florida's pretty empty, but if you go like towards Miami, it gets really crowded really fast. And I don't know what the laws are in those states about the electric bikes. I see lots of guys in UK, they get jammed, they get screwed. Like this guy was shooting a video, and he was doing like 130 kilometers an hour, which is like whatever 65, 70 miles an hour. And seriously, the authorities came to his house. It's like, look, we got to take a look at this bike because you get complaints. And this is because he had the video, the movie, the film on a YouTube that he was speeding and enough to have the authorities come to your house and knock at the door in UK. UK got huge restrictions. New York right now came out with restrictions, but we have so many problems with the defund the police department and all of that. That cops really don't care, man. You do whatever you want to do. Murder, ratio is ridiculous. But I would say stay away from mid drive. I mean, you will break chains. Um, you will go through your crank pulleys like never before. You won't be able to, hook up your battery the way you're supposed to. I did one video. I saw Super 73Z Z1. Man, I gotta tell you guys, these bikes, they cost so little to get them built, so little. Okay, the technology is already in 2020. Um, Getting a rear hub motor or mid drive or front wheel drive, it's like the cheapest thing ever. What it was when I got into electric bikes. Even though I pay for my kid $197, which was a lot because originally, in China they've been electric bike riding for years and ages. So it's not like we discovered something, and yet due to COVID-19 and the demand on these electric bikes, we are getting ripped off left and right with garbage. You know, um, I'm not even talking about, let's say, eBay, because all the kits they have drastically gotten really expensive because of COVID-19 and the problems delivering things and all that. But apparently China is back to normal. Hong Kong is back to normal. And if you order your things with Express, you'll get it in 7 days. You'll pay good amount of money for shipping because you got to pay the tariffs and all that. Thanks to Trump. I don't have a problem with Trump, nothing like that. But now we're short on laptops for our kids to go to school because China cannot really do a trade with us. Like, that's retarded. If you are a smart country and you are a pioneer in something, and China is, pretty much. They overwhelm us in everything. Every Sony, Sanyo, Samsung, Panasonic, all these items, all these TVs, stereos, they all come from China. Regardless which way you look. Um, Clothing will usually come from China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all those countries because it's cheap to make over there. I mean, any consumer will go out and buy cheap stuff and sell it over here for a markup. That's exactly how business works. It's the same thing with the electric bikes. People are overpaying for these bikes like crazy. They don't even think about it. Look, I'm not telling you to make your own bike. I'm not saying, that you have to do it yourself. There are people that, like my brother, man, he doesn't know how to fucking use a screwdriver. People like that, they will go buy a regular assembled bicycle. I understand that. He's handicapped. Not everybody is. But you can still go out and kind of buy a electric bike in China or from China, have it delivered, and it's not going to cost you what it's costing in US. This stealth for $10,500 base fucking price. Are you kidding me? I guess people like have just too much money, or the YouTubers and the income is like fucking retarded. But I would never spend for electric bike $10,000. Okay, if I build my own bike, that's my accomplishment. That's something I can show for. Something I can say, I built it. I'm the creator. I engineer it. I drew the plans. I thought of it. And it's my idea. And nobody can make the same one. And I'm proud of it. That's why I built. And I would know the bike inside out, what could be possibly wrong with it. And I would know every little wire goes in, goes out. And I'm not saying that if you buy an electric bike over here, you're not gonna get support. Yeah, you're gonna get support. I mean, some companies they honor it, some don't. I mean, come on. If you pay 3,000 for, hold on, I gotta check this guy's ID. I'm back. So yeah, if you gotta pay $3,000 for, for a bike, that's what you want to do. That's totally fine. I totally understand that. Let me see if I can bring to, you know what I mean? And I have the money to do that, but why would I do this? If somebody can tell me or will tell me, look, you can build your own bike at a perfect condition with 100% assembly by yourself, I'll do it. Okay, and a rehab is so easy to do. It's even funny with the Chinese stealth frames. You don't even need a torque arm. It's steel. Okay, you can stretch it, you can bend it, but the drop bar is 170 millimeters. That's huge. You can put a huge motor in it. So you got to be able to have a frame that you can work with different measurements and different motors. And now you take the mid drive and you install it, and then you gotta buy a bigger freaking gear ratio. That's additional expense, and it's just I don't get the reasoning for getting a mid drive. I want to get rid of the chain. See, I've had it where my chain didn't work, or I didn't have a chain, or it break for different reasons because it was cheap as hell. And I literally rode the bike without chain all the way to my house and back to a bicycle shop. Okay, small things like adjusting my brakes or redoing or reinstalling my chain, that kind of things. I don't do that because I want to know that it's done. And my shop is like definitely cheap. My local bicycle shop. They charge you like nothing. Okay. And so I'd rather have the professional redo my brakes, readjust my, even though it's cheap and it's easy. But I want to be able to say, this is what I got. And you got to understand, brakes I don't go cheap on. Even in my car, I put power stop, which I used to use it on my Corvette. I used to use it on my Mustang. You know what I mean? I want to make sure it stops. Now I use the same thing in my truck. So it's been proven over and over again, to me that these brakes are okay or great. But again, with the mid drive, you have, I know what the gravity is. It's all the way in the bottom. That I totally understand. I got nothing wrong with mid drive. Just I don't understand the concept of mid drive. There's no way that your bike is going to go 60, 70 miles an hour. It's not going to make a huge noise, and it's going to make that retarded noise that there's a chain going around it. And then how many times are you going to go through bearings, or on your drive shaft? How many times you're going to have to lubricate it, and how often are you going to have to maintain it? And Belfane, first of all, the system's supposed to be cheap as hell, okay? Secondly, Belfane is like out of style. It's like right now everything is rear drive. Front drive, don't even bother putting it on, unless you want to put like maybe a 250 watt or the most 350. But you put 500, it's going to spin and it's going to peel out, and you're not gonna have an traction, and you're done deal. Okay. Secondly, with the fat tires, I don't know why people buy fat tires bike. When I was looking into a fat tire bike for a retro bike build, I only look into a fat tire bike because I wanted stability. Okay, why is my watch going off? Okay, stability. Okay, but my concept was buy the fat tire rim, okay, and the frame, or just buy the frame and then match the rims to it. And of course, instead of having 5 inch, going, all the way that way, so you can put, 5 pounds of air, and it's just like, wow, my tire's glued to a freaking pavement. Well, yeah, because you're running on a flat, and you can get a snake bite like in 2 seconds, which boom, you strangled outside freaking, field, and now what? You can't even ride the damn thing or pedal the damn thing. But fat tire frame and a fat tire rim, right? Then from there you go into low profile tires that are this small off the floor, okay, and street tires, not off road, okay. Now, if you're building your bike only for torque, get an 8-turn or 5-turn motor rear hub, and you're gonna have a great torque. You're not gonna hit the top speeds, but you're gonna have a torque. And then I will go with a fat tires, but don't expect going 50 miles an hour. You'll probably go 37, 40, you're done, which is still fast enough on a bike. I mean, I've done 40 miles an hour, and I was shitting my bricks, So if you do that, you're going to be fine. But I understand people, they ride on a pavement, they ride on the streets, and they have fat tires that are like this freaking tall and this fucking wide. Like, to me, it looks retarded. It really does. It has no sense whatsoever, has no reason behind it. And it's just bullshit, right now, it's hip. I don't care if it's hip or not. And Stealth, they have off-road motocross tires. And there's a reason for that. Okay, you can go on-road and off-road, even though you have lots of resistance. But you know what? 4-inch tire it looks like a balloon, and a 3-inch tire that looks like a motorcycle tire. That's cool. That's totally cool. You're not gonna get as many flats because you're using motorcycle tires. So you're not really gonna get too many flats. And I know people, they claim that. Again, this guy in UK, he claims that he's had it ever since he installed it over a year ago or a year and a half ago. He never caught a flat tire, and I believe him because I originally had 1.75-inch tires, and man, I was getting fucking snake bites left and right like crazy, right? And the minute I installed 2.5 off-road tire, no more snake pinch or snake bites, and no more flats. Without a slime, without any, puncture resistance, tubes inside, nothing like that. Totally nothing. I've gone miles and miles without even worrying about my tires and my flat. Of course, I would have a fixed flat kit with me in case, you never know. but no problem. So forget about the front drive. Think about twice about mid drive. Oh, wife is calling. I got to pick that up later. I'm about to finish the video anyway. I'll call her back. So forget about the front wheel drive and concentrate on rear wheel drive. That's what technology is going to. A center drive or mid drive is pretty much for people that read about it, heard about it, love the torque, but do not know how great of a torque that you get with 72 volt and rear wheel hub drive, where it seriously sounds like a rocket. That's how this motor sounds like. Okay, and you got it in the back. It's a great torque. Guys, please don't buy the electric bikes. This is another guy. He bought the electric thing where those a father and a son and a friend are the ones that invented, built it, and marked it, and it's funny because the bike it's got fat tires, which is cool. It's one is a walk-through frame, and the other one is just a regular frame, and I'll step through, or step over, and but you need hydraulic brakes. We are in an era where right now you got hydraulic brakes or you have no brakes, and I always worry about safety, and hydraulic brakes is a must. In your own build, don't build nothing else. Now, if you could go for 4-cylinder hydraulic brakes, which I'm gonna go with because I want to stop, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And if you ever want to know how brakes work, cable brakes. If this is your shoe, cable brakes goes this way. Okay, one shoe stays and just presses on, and that's why you have to always put the screw in, so it squeezes and there's no gap, and it pretty much goes this way. Now hydraulic brakes pretty much goes this way. Both sides of the shoes, they squeeze. 4 cylinders, 1, 2, 3, 4, they even squeeze more area. So you get a beautiful stop, and you don't have to squeeze like crazy. I mean, after a while, my hands were killing me. My fingers were killing me so bad it wasn't even funny. That's brakes, okay? And then you're doing mid-drive, you got to do your batteries. Look, I'm not downing all these people that came out with these crazy ideas where they put the batteries in the back trunk. They put the batteries in the front, in a basket, shopping basket, I mean, and then they build their own batteries, right? I understand the concept. Would love to do that. It's too difficult, too complicated, too many wires. You screw up and BMS, your battery management system or monitoring system. You're screwed. Your battery is screwed. Who the hell is this now? Oh, hold on. What's up? What is that?
Cinnamon brown sugar. They were packed with gloves.
Oh,
They're
thank
good.
you, brother.
They're good.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I love these. Thank you.
Yeah. I like them. That's why I'm like this.
Ah, look yummy, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. You were thinking about me. I hear you, brother. Thank you. Well, I think I recorded what you were saying, but that's okay. But listen, so like I said with the batteries, okay, it's like, low gravity, you put in a basket like I was saying, you put it in the back, you put it in the frame, you glue it, you tape it, and you put it together, and then you solder things together, and or you don't have your, BMS, and then you got to, kind of like level it out with the machine, when you charge it, so everything is, basically managed. But you're not thinking how dangerous a LiPo battery is. So at the beginning, I'm gonna give a quick example. I'm gonna stop the video because it's getting too long, 20 minutes. So at the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember, but I smoke vapes, right? So at the beginning, what was happening? These things were exploding in people's pockets and all that, and people were getting sick and all that. See, I cough because it dries my throat. I'd rather cough this way, and I already had coffee, So coffee makes my saliva a little bit thicker and gluier and all that bullshit, right? But long story short is, so kids went out and bought these cigarettes, and at the beginning, the manufacturers were building these electric cigarettes just to build it, just to sell it, quantity, not quality, right? So lots of guys were puffing, like my wife. She puffs like one after the other, and then what happens is the coil overheats, the battery overheats, and boom, explodes, right? Uh, then you have where kids, what they're doing is they're buying these fake ass batteries, right? Just like with electric bikes, and they overheat it and explode, right? Then you have manufacturers coming out with lipo batteries, right? And they overheat and they explode, right? Because now this vape has a computer, right? So this computer regulates the battery output and discharge. So it's like BMS in a bicycle, right? So it's almost physically impossible to have it explode or overcharge or do anything like that. That's why this now works. Before it didn't. Secondly, kids were doing their own coils. Now, I'm not going to explain how coils work because that's totally off the subject, but it's the same thing with batteries in a bicycle, okay? There's a myth, and then, there's a fact, right? So the kids were rebuilding their own coils, and they were literally putting a fucking, what the hell was it? A cotton inside the vape, and they were soaking it with the oil, the smoking oil that I have inside, the oil right there, whatever taste flavor you got, and that's what's fucking up your lungs, and you getting cancer because you're smoking something you shouldn't be smoking. You're smoking chemicals. A coil is not done with cotton. It's done with special organic filter, okay, that the juice soaks into it, and you get the flavor out when the coil heats up, right? So same thing with the batteries. When you do a lipo battery, right, and besides that you got to balance it and do all kinds of shit and charges and all that, it's a crazy long fucking process, which I don't want to deal with, okay? I'd rather buy a battery from manufacturer that already knows pattern the whole thing. It's got people doing this shit in 2 seconds in China, and it's all done. Good deal, right? As long as it's not DOA, I'm totally fine. So kids were smoking that. They were playing with the batteries. The devices didn't have battery management system. It was blowing. It was setting on fire. Everybody, health department came in. We're gonna control it. FDA came in. We're gonna control it. Right? Well, they're not making any money off of fucking regular cigarettes, so now shit, they gotta go after the guy that's making money, which is these guys. But you also gotta regulate. So that's what they did. Now, same thing with the batteries. Okay, if you started off and you're cheap on your batteries, you go with the lipo. Lipo very expensive regardless. So if you buy 10 lipos, it's 10 amp hours, and your Siri connected, your power connected, you do all that. Look, it's costing you same thing, if not more. I totally understand the C discharge on LiPo batteries are crazy, but now you can buy a LiPo battery, okay? A lithium battery, LiPo. There is a bigger discharge in a LiPo, okay? That's why everybody goes for the LiPo. But the reality is, I would go with a LiPo if it's professionally assembled. I would not do my own LiPo. Number one, it just costs way too much. It costs over for what you should be paying for your batteries. Okay, that's a fact. Because the discharge, the C discharge, it's just ridiculous. And I don't want to be putting 30, 40,000 freaking watts or whatever at my freaking rear wheel because I'm gonna kill myself. I want to have the capability of doing, let's say, 70 miles an hour, but I'm not gonna do it all the time. Okay. I want to have 70-mile-an-hour bike, but I don't want to pay $30,000 for it. So like this other kid said on YouTube, okay, I want to buy the cheapest way, build it the cheapest way, and with great economy in the back of my mind, and also a fucking error-free bicycle, okay? And I want to be able to turn the key and leave. That's what I want. Simple as that. So the mid-drive, think about it. It's extremely hard. It's a fucking headache. Okay, front drive, don't even think about it. That's bullshit. That's for, older people, 65 years old, 250 watt motor, so it just spins. It gives you that boost because your legs are already shot and you're just the older guy. I mean, shit, I'm getting old, So this is like my last thrill in my life. I'm 48. Next January I'm gonna be few months, I'm going to be 49. So, I can't be going to, I can't be 60 years old doing 80 miles an hour on a fucking bicycle. That's retarded. I mean, it's dangerous as hell. So, mid-drive, no. And do me a favor, guys, please. Okay, build your own thing, man. Buy a goddamn bike from China. If you guys want, okay, I'll do a video with Alibaba, okay, how to order, where to order, how to negotiate, where to negotiate, with whom to negotiate, okay. The biggest thing about Alibaba, not Alibaba Express. One, Alibaba Express is for us, for small baby consumers, okay, that want to get it one piece. But since the COVID-19, Alibaba Express is still continuing doing the individual sales, but also Alibaba.com is doing individual sales, like sample sales they call it, okay, that you buy only one for sample, and they still do it, okay, where Alibaba Express used to only do it, and Alibaba.com only dealt with big manufacturers like Juice Bag, Super 73, all that. Where do you think these guys get these bikes? They get these bikes from freaking China. I mean, look at Juice. The guy who fucking manufactured this shit. It cost him nothing. Okay, and he's ripping off fucking us. That's what he's doing. This guy's asking $2,000 for a bullshit bike with 52-volt battery, which ain't 52. It's actually 48. They consider 52 because they put one additional cell, which they should mark it up only, maybe 4%, 7% for the power you gain, but yet he's charging you $2,000? You tell once you install the 48-volt battery, and how much you're going to charge me for that? Because 48 batteries, man, I bought 20-hour amp for like $250. And he's claiming like, oh my God, this battery is like the best, and there's the best pattern, there's like best technology. Man, bullshit. Guys, I got to go. Wifey calling second time. I don't want to disappoint. I love you guys. Let me know if you want to talk about the Alibaba guys. Take care, be good, be safe, drive safe.